All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So I planned a pretty fun class today, dare I say. Uh, we're just doing a variety of things. There's nothing super specific today that you all need to know. As always, take modifications, take options. I will give lots of them. Prioritize form. We're going to be engaging our glutes a lot today, doing some core work and some different intervals. So if you ever have any questions, I feel free to always unmute and ask questions. My mom is really good about that. But always feel free if you ever have any questions throughout, just stop, unmute yourself and say it. So yeah, let's hop right in. So we're going to start on our backs today. So laying back, and we'll find a neutral spine here. So you can feel if your back is arching. So if you want to put your left hand behind your back here, and you're really going to press down with your low back into your hand. And then you're going to take out your hand and it should stay there. So you're not going to have an arch in your back. You're pressing the low back down into the mat. And you should honestly even feel just with that, the back pressing down, that your glutes start to fire up a little bit. All right, same thing with the core here. So we're starting to engage the core. You can pretend that you're bringing kind of your ribs together. And sometimes I even like to put my hands on my ribs and kind of press them together. And you start to get some engagement in the core. All right, we're going to press into the feet here and squeeze up into a glute bridge, a low glute bridge. So dialing those feet out and really, really firing up the glutes. And so we're not aiming for a high glute bridge. This can be a super low glute bridge. You can honestly be, a half inch off the ground for all I care. In fact, lower is probably better, especially if you're working on your glute strength here. So we're going to start with some little pulses, just lifting and lowering the hips. You can always put those hands on your thighs or on your hip bones if you want to make sure that your pelvis is staying neutral. So really here, keeping that neutral pelvis is the powerhouse of this move. As soon as you start to arch the back, you're losing all of that glute power. Good, we'll do a couple more pulses and then we're gonna heel toe that left foot into the middle and we'll lift up that right knee over our hip. So that right knee is right up over our hip, our toe is flexed in. And you can put your right hand in your hip crease, so between where your thigh and your hip meets. If this feels like too much, feel free to just stay in your normal glute bridge. And we're going to internal and externally rotate our hips. So we're starting to bring some juices and some release into that hip, warming up. All right, so internally, externally rotating here. And this movement is coming from the hip bone, not from your knee. You're like a little robotic. Good. 3, 2, 1. You'll bring that right foot down. We'll lift up that left knee. Knee is over hip, toes flexed, and we'll internally and externally rotate the hip. Same thing. So again, you don't want that back to arch in this position. If you feel like it's arching, really press into that right foot and lift and squeezing those glutes. Good. 3, 2, 1. Bring that foot down. Final thing, we're going to lift and lower the heels just to warm up the fascia in the feet a little bit. And you're really trying to keep the ankles right above the heels. You don't want to pronate the ankles in or have them fall out. You're trying to keep them nice and neutral here. Good. 3, 2, 1, and we'll lower the hips down to the ground. Hopefully those glutes are feeling nice and fired up. We're going to bring the hands behind the head and bring the elbows up towards the ceiling. Again, that same feeling of pressing down with the lower back and engaging the core. All right, inhale, exhale, lifting up off those shoulder blades. If you can, really peeling up. Those elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling and you're pressing your head back into your hand here. Good. Exhale and lower. Inhale. Exhale, lifting, really squeezing down with the core here. So again, that lower back is helping all those core muscles get nice and deep and engaged. Good, inhale and lower. Exhale and lift up here. This time we're gonna add on, if you want, we'll straighten out that left leg, flexing that toe towards you. Good, foot down and lower, inhale. Exhale and lift. Again, you're trying not to arch that low back, really pressing down, pretending someone's like pressing down on your stomach here. And that's not for aesthetic reasons. That is literally just for the strength of the core and getting into those deep muscles. Inhale, exhale, and lift. We're adding on this time, straightening out that left leg. We're gonna abduct a couple inches, and then one more time, out to the side a couple inches, back in, leg down, and lower. Inhale, exhale, lift up. That head is pressing back into your hands. Right leg comes out. We're bringing it a couple inches out to the right, back in, couple inches out to the right, back in, and down. So you can keep any of those options. I'll give one last round here with one more addition. You can always take just our first round if that feels better. All right, inhale, exhale, lifting up. We're bringing that left leg out. If you want, you can lift and hover that right leg up and do the abduction with that right knee up. Or you can keep that foot on the ground just like we did last time. We'll do 3, right foot down and lower. Last time, inhale, exhale, lifting up that right leg. If you want to lift up that left leg, you can add on a little bit. We're doing 3 abductions. Good, both feet down, nice. All right, we'll just do a quick windshield wiper of the hips. So keeping a neutral spine here, so still not arching the back. We're just dropping knees to one side and then back to the other. So they're kind of falling in as the other one goes out. Should release the lower back a little bit. I don't know what Ryan's doing. Not exactly the same thing, but all right, we're gonna come up and around here, and we're gonna start with our intervals. So we're gonna be doing 2 exercises and then combining them. So we'll do 1 exercise for 30 seconds, second exercise for 30 seconds, and combine them for 45 seconds. Repeat that twice. So our first exercise is an awkward table. So we're in our quadruped here, and we'll extend our left arm for the first round and right leg. And we're gonna just abduct the same way we did in that introduction, in our core introduction. We're abducting out to the side. I'm gonna show it, let's see, this way so you can see what I mean. So that leg is out, and because you still can't see either. But yeah, you get what I mean. Abducting out to the side and back in with the arm as well. And then our second move, so we'll do one side for the first one, is going to be a hovering table push. So hovering table, we're tucking those toes and lifting the knees a couple inches here, and then you'll just crouch back over the knee and then back into that hovering table. That will be our second exercise. And then combined, we'll do 1 of those awkward tables, hands down, back into that crouch, forward and down, extend, back together. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Let's do it. All right, 30 seconds of that awkward table. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. So that left arm, right leg extends a couple inches to the side and back in. You want to make sure that lower back is staying even. That right glute should be fired up here. The core is helping to control this move. Neck is staying neutral. You're sliding that shoulder blade down your back a little bit so the shoulder's not all up in your ear. Nice and controlled. All right, coming into that hovering table. So hovering those knees a couple inches. We're just gonna press back a couple inches into a crouch and then back forward. Pushing a couple inches back. So those knees are staying hovering. Your quad should light up pretty fast here. Knees are staying hovered above the ground. All right, we're combining in 3, 2, back into that quadruped, left arm, right leg. We're abducting one time, coming back in, one crouch and back. Extending, take this at your own speed. Coming back into that hover, one crouch. I don't love the word crouch now that I'm saying it so many times. It sounds like kind of a weird word. Good, 15 seconds left here. Good, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. Take a quick breather and then we'll switch to the other side. So our right arm is out, left leg is out. Whew. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. So that left leg, right arm, and we're just abducting a couple inches out and back in. Your gaze can just be a couple inches in front of you here. And again, that pelvis is staying even. So not letting that left leg either go up too high or drop too low. I like to put a hand on my low back sometimes just to check in on where my hip is. All right, coming into that hovering crouch in 3, 2, 1. Finding that quadruped, tucking the toes. We're crouching back and then pressing back. And you can always, if you need a little rest, come into that quadruped for a second and then come back into your crouch. Oh, this fires up the quads. Ah! 3, 2, 1. We're coming into that abduction. So abducting that left leg, right arm, coming back down. 1, crouch. I'm sorry I'm saying that word so much. There's no way around it. No laugh. Good. We're not going for speed here. Taking it as slow as you need. 15 seconds left. Whew. 3, 2, 1. Relax. All right, first round is done. We are going to go into our second round. I'll demo the 2 moves. So our first one is going to be a side plank variation. So we'll start with our right arm down, and you can kick that foot below you if you want more support, or you can keep it underneath you, whatever feels best. Option 1 is just to stay in this side plank variation. So just staying here in your side plank. If you want to add on, we're going to raise that top leg and bend the knee and do little pulses like you're kicking a wall behind you. But notice my back's not arching. So you're still keeping that neutral pelvis in this position. That's our first exercise. Our second exercise is pushing off into airplane. So I guess we're here. Yeah, so we're going to be pressing onto this left foot. So pressing forward like a one-leg deadlift, and then pressing back up to stand. Pressing forward, this is really good for your balance, core is engaged. Pressing forward, and our combination is a super fun combo. One of my faves, actually. So we're in that side plank, so with that knee, oops, gotta find that balance. With that knee bent, and we're stepping that foot, pivoting, pressing off into that airplane, stepping back, knee down, extending. I know it looks complex, but I think it'll all come together as you do it. So you're stepping that foot, pressing up into that airplane, and so on. Whew, I'm out of breath demoing that. All right, so starting with that side plank variation. Remember your options. In 3, 2, 1. So finding that side plank so you can lift that top leg, or you can just keep it on the ground and really squeeze that glute. So if you're in that variation, that knee is bent behind you. So knee is bent here, and you're pulsing, yeah, there you go. firing up that glute. So like you're kicking a wall behind you. Good, 3, 2, 1. We're coming up into that airplane. So that left foot is on the ground. We're pressing up and forward. And again, this is gonna be nice and shaky, don't worry. We're hinging forward into that airplane and back up, hinging forward. You can always use something around you too if you want a little bit extra support. And you can put one hand on your stomach and one on your low back just to make sure that pelvis is staying even. All right, we're coming into that combo. So right hand is down on the ground, right knee. So we're here. You can come into that combo if you want. So we're stepping, pivoting, pressing up into that airplane, stepping back with that right foot and bringing that leg back behind you. Stepping that left foot forward, pressing up, whoo, into that airplane, stepping back, knee down, and foot is behind you. Take this at your own speed where you're not in a rush at all. Pressing up, again, working on that balance. Right knee down, left foot behind you. Last time, if you're there, stepping with that left foot, we're coming up and pressing forward. Good, relax. 15 seconds off. Feel free to grab some water. We'll switch to the other side. Hopefully it'll all brain map together for the second round. All right, we're coming to that left side this time. So same thing, the left hand, except the left hand is down this time. Everyone good? Okay. Left hand is down this time. Again, you can always come to better balance by bringing that knee back behind you instead of under you. Whew. All right, so again, you can always just stay in that modified side plank, or if you want to add on, you can bend that knee behind you and come to those pulses. All right, we're going 30 seconds. That right glute is fired up this time. You're pressing, little pulses behind you. I like to look down at my hand to keep my neck neutral. Core is engaged here too. So right now, start thinking about in that combo, what it's gonna look like. So you're gonna be stepping that top leg in front of you. First, we'll go into our airplanes, but just so you can think about it. All right, coming onto that right foot, and now we're doing our press-offs into that airplane. We're hinging forward and coming back up. So we're hinging forward. And it's okay if this is hard. This is a hard move. You can always hold on to someone or a wall around you if you need. And don't worry about going too deep. All right, let's do the combo. So we're starting. That left hand is down. Left knee is down. We're stepping that right foot forward, planting it. You can always put a block under your hand too. Pressing up, knee down, and back. So stepping and pressing forward. So even though this seems like high coordination, this is so good for your brain. It's what they call brain mapping. Sounds like a fun term. Again, take this as slow as you need. There's no rush through these moves. In fact, oftentimes slower the better. Pressing forward. 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. Feel free to grab some water here. Take a second. Whew. All right, next up, we got a simple, less coordinated one. So our first 30 seconds will just be abductors. So you can kind of see a theme here with our abductors today. So again, you can find a wall to hold on to if you want to do a little bit less balance. So we're going to lift that right leg out to the side and back in. Notice that I'm not just dropping that hip up. You want to keep your pelvis even here, lifting it out to the side and back in. That is our first move. My toe is also flexed in. Our second move is a curtsey lunge. So you'll step behind and back. And so my knee is still staying over my ankle. It's not falling. Coming down into that Lunge and back in. If that feels wonky, just find a normal lunge. Don't worry too much about doing the curtsey if that doesn't feel good on your knees. And then our combo will be doing that abductor lift into that curtsey lunge. That abductor lift into that curtsey lunge. All right, let's start with the abductor lifts on the right leg. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So bringing that right leg out to the side and back in. So notice my pelvis is staying centered here. I'm not lifting that right hip up, toe is flexed. So all those little stabilizer muscles around your hips and glutes are really helping you out here. You can always hold on to something. Don't worry about the balance too much. Good. 3, 2, 1. We're stepping that right foot behind for those curtsey lunges, or if you would rather just do your normal lunge. So stepping behind and back far enough that you're not bringing that knee too far forward. So stepping behind and back in, and they're not going to look perfect. That's okay. Core is engaged here. So finding your version of what this looks like for you. All right, we're combining. So coming into that abductor lift out to the side, stepping behind for that curtsey lunge. Nice. Nice and controlled. And again, if you don't like that curtsey lunge, you're just stepping behind into that normal lunge. My left glute is burning. Ugh. Good, 15 seconds left. So these are the muscles that we use when we walk, when we run, when we go upstairs, when we move laterally at any time, moving side to side. So they're super important for stability. 3, 2, 1. Oh, shake it out. Ow. All right, we're going to that other side. So left leg will be going out this time, and we'll step it behind for the curtsey lunges after 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1. So this time that left leg out to the side and back down. So my range of motion is much less. Okay, Ryan's just being in the camera here.
I mean, you can switch and go up front, but I need...
It's okay, I'll just show everyone. So hips are staying even. There we go. Just a little slower. Yeah, there you go. Nice. All right, curtsey lunge in 3, 2, 1. Stepping that foot behind. Step it back a little bit further, Ryan, so you can really... Yeah, there you go. So keeping your core engaged. Nice. So stepping that left foot behind and back in. All right, getting ready for that combo in 3, 2, 1. So that abduction and then stepping that foot behind. Abduction. Do you want to switch and I'll go in front? Abduction, stepping that foot behind. I should have mentioned this too. Feel free to play your own music. I didn't mention that earlier, but you can always do that if that's more enjoyable for you. So again, watching that pelvis, it's not lifting up, staying neutral. Good, 15 seconds left here. You can always find that normal lunge instead of your curtsey lunge. The curtsey lunge just gets a little bit more of your glute medius instead of your glute maximus. So, all right, 3, 2, 1. Whew. My legs are tired already. Good thing we're moving on to a little bit of arms. All right, next up. Actually, this is our last of our intervals like this. So, for our push-up is our first one, and I choose to do my push-ups on my knees because I can't do a good push-up on my toes. So those hands are under your shoulders. You're sliding the shoulder blades down your back, so you're not all up here. And we're gonna just do for our first round just push-ups of any distance. So don't feel like you need to get down to the ground or anything. It's not about depth. So it could even just be a little half lower and back up, or if you feel like you can get all the way to the ground, that's fine. So our first round is just those push-ups. Second round, we're gonna come into a Superman. I'm gonna show the center so you can see what I mean. Starting here, we're bringing those arms into a goalpost and lifting and lowering the arms. So really getting into that upper back. And you wanna make sure that the lower back isn't taking this, so those glutes, again, are fired up, core is engaged. We're lifting and lowering those arms. Can you see my arms there? Yeah, so we're lifting and lowering here. And then, as you can probably imagine, our combo, lowering down, lifting and lowering, planting, pressing back up. Oh, it's gonna be good. All right, starting with those push-ups for 30 seconds. Prioritizing form here, not depth. Don't worry about touching the ground. All right, 3, 2, 1. So 30 seconds of those push-ups, and you can always make it easier by bringing those knees in closer to you too, your choice. So again, that neck is staying neutral. Maybe your eyes, your gaze, maybe 2 feet in front of your hands, sliding those shoulder blades down your back. Not letting the pelvis tip here. You're really keeping everything neutral, or else you're going to lose a lot of that strength and power that you have in your core. All right, we're lowering all the way down, bringing those arms out into your goalpost, 30 seconds here, lifting and lowering the arms in a W. Again, squeezing the glutes so that your lower back's not taking the weight here. Upper back muscles are firing. All right, getting ready for that combo in 3, 2, 1. Pressing into the hands, up into that push-up position. We're coming all the way down to the ground. Arms into our goalpost, lifting, lowering, pressing back into that push-up. Good, pressing back down. All right, 15 seconds left here. Whew. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. Feel free to give those arms a nice little shake. We'll do one more here, one more time through those push-ups and goalposts, and then we'll move on to a little bit of a core burnout. That's a bad way to say it. Just a little core engagement. All right, we're going in 3, 2, 1. Back into those push-ups again. They're your push-ups. They're yours. As deep as you feel like you can go with good form. You can even dial those hands out a bit so you're really sliding the shoulder blades down your back. Good, getting ready for our goalpost pulses in 3, 2, 1. So bring those arms into a goalpost. We're just lifting up a couple inches and back down. You can always lift your chest up. I like keeping my forehead on the ground, but whatever feels best for you. All right, combo in 3, 2, 1. Pushing up into that push-up position, coming down into that goalpost and back up. Again, not letting the pelvis sag here. Everything's coming up as if you were a literal plank on the ground. Good, 15 seconds left. Last time going through these push-ups. Good. 3, 2, 1. Take a nice breather. Good job, everyone. Whew. All right, so we're gonna end with my favorite core exercise, which I think you all know is a plank. But I'm gonna briefly go over our plank form because I think it's super important. So you can bring those hands together in a plank, or you can bring them parallel, whatever feels best for you. You can obviously do a plank on your knees. Can you move your feet for a second? Your knees are on your toes. But what I want to make clear here is so many people protract your shoulder blades in your plank, and you actually want to slide them down your back. So instead of being here, we're coming into our plank here. And you don't want to drop and arch your low back. You're really keeping everything flat the whole time. All right, so you can obviously be on your knees or your toes for all of these. So our first one is just holding a 20-second plank, and then we'll have 10 seconds off, and then we'll flip into a side plank. And you can do this on your forearms or on your hands, whatever feels best. So for that side plank, you can stack the feet, you can stagger them, or you can drop one knee underneath. So you'd be here or stacked. And then we'll hold that for 20 seconds, back to the center for 20 seconds, and then actually we'll do side, side, and then hold. We'll do that twice, 2 times through. Yay, so exciting. All right, let's do it. We are almost done with the plank part. All right, let's do it. So finding that plank position here, we're holding for 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. In 3, 2, 1, finding that plank position. So finding that neutral pelvis again here, sliding those shoulder blades down your back a bit. Neck is neutral. Tucking that pelvis so that you're not arching the back. Good. 3, 2, 1. We'll come to that right side plank. So whatever way you want to do that side plank, you can tuck the feet, you can bend one knee under. In 3, 2, 1. Coming up into that side plank, you could bring an arm up, you can bring it on your hip. Really trying to make sure that shoulder is stacking on top of your elbow. Getting those obliques. Super important postural muscle. 3, 2, 1. 10 seconds off. We're coming to that other side. 3, 2, 1. Finding that side plank on your left side. Again, that shoulder blade is sliding down your back. That shoulder isn't coming into your ear. Good. 3, 2, 1. Coming to the center. 20 seconds. Whew. 3, 2, 1. Good. Finding that hold here, nice and controlled. You can always be on your knees or on your toes. Up to you. 3, 2, 1. All right, we have one more time through. I'm going to give you an option here of staying on your forearms, or if you want to feel the difference, I'm going to do it on my hands this time so that we can switch it up a little bit. But if you loved the forearm plank, feel free to stay there. All right, final 2 minutes here, and then we'll do a little bit of a cool down. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So you can also have your knees on the ground for your hand plank. Up to you. Same idea of sliding those shoulder blades down your back instead of really pressing those shoulder blades up to the ceiling. 3, 2, 1. So we're coming to a side plank. You can come to a modified side plank like we practiced before with a knee on the ground, or you can stack those feet. In 3, 2, 1. So your choice here. You can always bring a knee down on the ground and come to that modified side plank. Or like Ryan is, you can always come back down to your forearm plank here too. 3, 2, 1, 10 seconds off. Final minute here, coming to that left side. Whew. 3, 2, 1. So again, remember all your options. You can come into a modified side plank, or you can stack those feet. Again, same thing, remembering where that pelvis is. Is your core engaged? 3, 2, 1, 10 seconds off. Final plank here, 20 seconds of that plank hold, either on your forearms or on your hands. Up to you in 3, 2, 1. Finding that strength for a final 20 seconds. Again, you can always have the option of the knees on the ground, or if you're not having fun, just take a chill. Up to you. 3, 2, 1. We're going to come into a child's pose here. So you can bring those knees wide or knees together and walk those hands out. If this doesn't feel comfortable, you can always come forward so you're not actually pressed all the way back down to your toes. See what feels good for you. Good. All right, we're going to come up into a quadruped and just do a couple stretches, and then I'll close out by 7:15 for everyone. I'm going to move this a little bit up so you can all see me. All right, we're going to come into a quadruped, so those hands are under your shoulders, and we'll do some cat-cows here. But on these cat-cows, we're not arching our back ever. So when we come into that cat, we're just bringing the shoulder blades down our back, but keeping that pelvis neutral. So if there's no arching, that's super, super bad for your back and squeezes it. So we'll press into the hands and press those shoulder blades up and apart, and then we'll slide that chest through your hands. So we're not arching here, we're just pulling that chest through your hands and then pressing up into those shoulder blades, releasing the upper back. Good, we'll do one more here, pressing into those hands, pulling them apart. Good, and then we'll extend that left leg out and back. Same thing, that pelvis is neutral, and we're just gonna rock forward and back, so releasing some of the fascia in your calf and your foot. So just rocking back and forth into that left foot. That left glute is still fired up a little bit so that we're getting some release.
My legs are dead.
I know, my legs are very tired too. Good, we'll switch to the right side. Right foot is back, and we'll release. Ryan, are you okay? Release some of the right leg. I feel like my quads are going to be really sore. Good. All right, bringing that left foot out to the back again. We're going to cross it. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this at an angle so you can see what I mean. We're crossing it over so it's on top of that other foot, and then we're going to look back towards that foot. So we're getting some stretching in our hip. Oh my God, my leg is shaking. This is so funny.
Yeah, so is Ryan.
Wow. Good, we'll switch to the other side. So crossing, let's see that right leg over our left, and we'll look back towards our left, towards the right foot. Good. Nice. All right, we are going to move on to our backs and do what Ryan already prematurely did, our figure 4. So coming back onto the lower back, we'll cross our right leg over our left. And if this feels good, just stick here. If you want to add a little bit more, you can start to press that knee back towards you, so opening up that right glute. See if you can avoid just pulling and cranking that knee in towards you. See if you can kind of use more of a strength-based approach here. Good, we'll switch to the other side, crossing that left foot over your right, pressing that right knee in. You can always keep it on the ground if that feels better. Again, we're not trying to crank anything or go farther than we need to. You just want to find enough of an active stretch here. All right, we'll roll up into a seat and come into some nice big shoulder rolls. So really bringing your shoulder blades into these shoulder rolls. So not these little mini ones. Really try to lift up that shoulder blade and release it back. If you have really, really tight shoulders or traps, this might feel really tight or tense. And this is what I really recommend doing throughout the day, especially if you sit at a desk, is just taking little breaks and really releasing the scapula and the muscles around it because they are very overworked. All right, we're bringing those arms out into motorcycles and we're just gonna open up the chest. So pulling back, bringing those elbows together and coming back into neutral. Opening up the chest here, squeezing the shoulder blades together and then back. And we're not splaying our ribs, we're keeping them tucked here so that the core is staying intact. Good, one more here. All right, bringing those arms into our goalpost. So we're familiar with this. And we're gonna come to some twists. And we're not using the elbows, aren't twisting you. It's like as if you have something coming out of the center of your chest that's twisting you. So we're twisting. And again, we're using the controlled strength here rather than just flexibility. So this is your thoracic spine. So your middle spine, and this is the only part of your spine that's supposed to be mobile. So your cervical spine, so your neck's not supposed to be super mobile, and your lumbar spine, your low back, also not supposed to be mobile. Whew. All right, last stretch today. We'll bring those hands together and punch them out. So releasing the head and the upper back. We'll do that one more time, bringing hands into chest, and we'll punch the hands forward and press into that upper back, releasing some of that tension. And you made it. Yay! Give yourself a nice big pat on the back. We will be back to this for the next 3 weeks of February. I'll try to switch it up every week so that we're doing different intervals. I'm going to stop recording.